Got to go straight to our next guest. And we are back live here on our world famous Jiggy Jaguar experience, coast to coast and border to border on iHeartRadio. Also, AMFM, 247.com, 990 WBOB. And apparently we're throwing away pieces of pineapple.
No, we're going to plant it. We're going to grow a pineapple.
You're not going to be able to grow a pineapple. Where are you planting this pineapple? Are you going to water this pineapple?
Yes, yeah. Well, it's got to be watered.
Oh, I'll be watering the pineapple. Okay, let's go to our next guest, who is going to join us here on the old telephone. And what are they? They've got their pineapple tree. Apparently, they're going to be planting pineapples now. We are joined by the drummer of an iconic industrial band, and of course they announced their brand new album, CHANT, releases Hydra and a brand new single, President God. And we go to the telephones. How are you, sir?
Hey, James, how are you doing?
Pretty good, actually. I just, you never know with the Sunday show what the hell is going to go on. We went from a mobile DJ to people in studio wanting to plant pineapples, and now we have you. It's quite the day,
hey,
sir.
That sounds like the spirit of the iconic industrial band Pigface that I got the honor to tour with last year. Right, Pigface is the invention of Martin Adkins and the late great drummer Bill Richland, and they've been going on forever. And I'd been intertwined with those guys, and I jammed with Martin before, but I had my first opportunity to play as a touring member with Big Face a year ago now. In fact, a year ago today, we were just taking off on the tour, and you never know what's going to happen. And just like your Sunday show, right? You don't know what's going to happen.
You just
that's
never
part of
know.
The excitement of it, and every show's a little different, and it's a whole lot of fun.
It is quite the deal today. This is just sometimes a circus here. But so tell me a little bit about what you're doing with this new project, my friend.
Yeah. Well, so of course I'm Bradley Bills, and let me tell your listeners a little bit about Chant. I mean, Chant is a project of mine that I started. I've been doing it about 15 years, and it is taking all my 80s and 90s influences, whether it's prog rock and Peter Gabriel and things. As a drummer, I started off loving with all of my industrial music influences, Ministry, KMFDM, 9 Inch Nails, and I just throw it all into a pressure cooker. I program it out. I play live drums on top of it. I do the vocals.
That's
and
awesome.
It just comes out this tribal, drum-driven, very energetic, explosive music. And, of course, I'm very much a live player, so I bring musicians along with me when Chant performs live, and you'll end up, having multiple drummers playing at once to, some slamming electronic music, and it's a whole lot of fun. So I've been doing it a while. The new album, this is my 4th album, it's called Hydra, and I'm just really excited to get it out there so it can be heard, because it's also been in the pressure cooker for a while. I wrote it a while ago, but albums with Chant tend to come out a little further apart because it achieved what I wanted it to do. It got me out there where people were seeing me play, and I keep getting asked to play for bands that I have admired and been a fan of, and I just can't say no, so I'll pause in between albums and tour with some of my favorite bands playing drums for them, and then I'll return to do a Chant album. So I'm glad to have this one out. I think it's a really exciting album that tells a story, and it's a whole lot of fun.
Well, I have learned over the last several years, one of our colleagues, Michael Nagy, does interviews for us at events, and he started recently doing a lot of Skype interviews, and he has interviewed all of these people that you have worked with. He has interviewed the Skate Nigs. He has interviewed Lords of Acid. And I just learned so much about industrial bands through Michael and his interviews and things. Why is industrial music like a big deal nowadays?
I think that, industrial obviously can be traced back to experimental, bands like Throbbing Gristle, where they were really experimenting with the cutting edge of synthesizers and drum machines, but also found objects like banging on metal. And I think, it's having a resurgence, because I think industrial, there's every other kind of music got inspired from it or is injected into it. So there's a lot of punk rock in industrial. There's a lot of metal in industrial. There's a lot of experimental in industrial. And then in industrial, of course, flipped around, like with Ministry and Nine Inch Nails in the 90s, injecting, writing a really good song that has a really good message that's catchy. And so I think it's just coming full circle again, because you've got this really interesting array and palette of sounds, but it just comes across as punk rock and honest and slamming, and you can dance to it, or you can just dig into the different layers of texture. And I really think that's why even people that like Lady Gaga pop stuff, there's industrial remixes of that, right? And I think people come back to end up discovering some of these iconic industrial bands from the 90s and find out that that's what led to Rob Zombie and everything else, and Marilyn Manson and everything else that's mainstream. So it's fun to be involved with some of the people that I looked up to and get to work with them. Some I've worked directly with, some I've toured with and just opened up for, and then others, obviously, I've got to actually play drums for them, so it's been fun.
So tell us about this track we're going to hear in a few moments, President God.
Yeah, so I'll start by telling a little bit about the album.
Okay.
Within the context of the new album, Hydra, at its core, Hydra is a metaphor for, the undeniable fundamental desire of all humans to be free, particularly anyone who inspires future generations to continue to stand for freedom and human rights even after they die. So it's kind of this center idea that I was writing words down as I started to write this record, just about how no dictator or empire or authoritarian ruler has ever succeeded in suppressing that core human need to be free. So in my mind, in this President God character that I kind of had been thinking about and developing, and the first part of the album is this rise of this demagogue, President God. And then the second part is somebody that realizes they need to stand up and do something about it. And it turns into the Hydra. It turns into the idea of being free is what you can't kill. It continues to spread. And so this track, President God, is kind of on the album, the introduction to this demagogue, game show host kind of guy that really just wants fame out of it, or wants to use religion, as a way to get elected and stay in power. And it was just this idea that had been circling around. So it kind of comes full circle also, with the way the album is laid out and tells the story.
Well, fantastic. Well, we are going to go to this track, and I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to chat with me here on our big program, my friend. Thank you.
You got it.
I appreciate it, man. Before we let you go, how do people get the album and get you guys online?
Yeah, absolutely. So, chant's a pretty common term, right? It started out about the tribal drumming and meditation, and it's turned into this industrial thing. But chantproject.com is how you find me online, and that links to everything with social media. chantproject.com/store will lead right now. CD and limited edition vinyl are on sale and shipping out soon, and you can get the digital record on chantproject.bandcamp.com. You can find all my releases for digital download there. So that's the great way to find it. And I'm still, not against labels, and I've had distribution deals before, but Art of Industrial is also DIY, and I'm a DIY independent artist. So this one's been self-released. So if people dig what they hear, I hope they go to chantproject.com and find out more about me and support, because I'm in the trenches doing it all myself.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to go to this, and thanks for being with us. Appreciate it, brother.
Hey, James, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you, my friend. Here we go. It's President God. That is Chant, and it is on your world famous Jiggy Jaguar Experience. President God. I just got a call from somebody who